Rob, what is our first main topic today?
John, our first main topic comes to us from Christian Horn. Greetings and salutations, crew. Thank you for the 1923 podcast,
Well,
guys.
at least one person listened to it.
I know, right? Love listening to it tonight right after I finished watching the premiere. Speaking of which, did you see that 1923 absolutely destroyed the Paramount viewership record and claimed the #1 premiere for cable television in 2022? What do you think of these numbers, and how much more can they expand the Yellowstone universe?
All right, Christian, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, look, you guys know I think Yellowstone is the best show on TV. And we were really excited about 1923. Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren. We watch it. For those of you who don't know, Rob and I recorded the first episode of our 1923 after show, which is an exclusive to our podcast feed on After Show. So just go and search for the After Show, a John Campea podcast. Go find it, subscribe to it today. There it is for you. And of course, our the newest one we just put up is 1923. So go and check that out. At any rate, so they launch it. How would people respond to it? Yellowstone, 1883, both very popular. Well, apparently the numbers were insane. This comes to us from the folks over at Deadline, who wrote the following. 1923, which released over the weekend, was Paramount Plus's most watched premiere ever in the US. The streamer announced Monday. Apparently, it wasn't even a close race, with 1923, get this, surpassing the previous record by nearly 80%. It eclipsed the debuts of such previous Paramount Plus breakouts as Halo, Sheridan's 1883, Mayor of Kingstown, and the one that just recently broke the record, Tulsa King. The Yellowstone universe continues to break records, with our latest chapter, 1923, scoring as the most watched premiere ever on Paramount Plus and debuting as the #1 new cable premiere of the year on linear, said Chris McCarthy, president, CEO of Paramount Media Networks and MTV Entertainment Studios. Taylor Sheridan continues to tap a cultural nerve that has proven irresistible to viewers from across the country and around the world, with this newest installment showing no signs of slowing down. All right. So, #1, I remember we talked about this like a month or so ago when Tulsa King debuted. Like, the numbers were crazy. I don't think any of us expect to see the kind of numbers that it got. That Paramount Plus then has 1923 come out that beats it by 80% is staggering. It shows absolutely there's a massive popularity with this Yellowstone universe. It also shows that people, well, we know people loved 1883. Those who watched it loved it, and they just can keep continuing this momentum. How many more can they do? Rob, you and I talked on the podcast last night. I fully expect that we are going, after 1923, we're going to get a 1963. And I think after 1963, we're going to get a 2003. And you're going to have Josh Lucas playing the younger Kevin Costner character in his own series. I mean, I think they have a way to go. Chris, I remember you were pointing out to me before the show started, Paramount Plus might as well just be recalled the Taylor Sheridan Network.
He's the king of the world.
He's carrying the whole damn thing. Anyway, you saw 1923. Yeah. You're seeing these numbers. What's your takeaway?
Well, I have a lot to take away from it. And people have asked, and we talked about it off air, is that I watched a couple episodes of Yellowstone, liked what I saw, but the problem with Yellowstone is it's so hard to find. It's all over the map. You got to find it on, it's on Paramount Plus. It should just be on Paramount Plus.
It should be. That's a big thing they got to change.
When it is, that's when I'm going to start, because I don't want to. I'm too lazy. I'm not going to go search all over the place for it. But the other one, the 1883, is that one I want to watch. I like Sam Elliott, but the reason why I think that both Tulsa King and this show are doing so well is because the movie star, even though we agree that the movie star these days don't sell tickets in the theater the way, doesn't mean that people still don't want to watch them.
Yeah. And
so perfect example for that is, this isn't necessarily a show that, like, my wife is going to be, like, the premise of it, let's watch it. But I said, there's a new show with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. She's like, oh, I love them. Let's watch it. She didn't even know what the hell it was about. She had seen Yellowstone, but didn't realize until we started watching, oh, this is connected to Yellowstone. That drives numbers because you're already paying for the service, and here are some people that you know very well. It's Harrison Ford. It's a movie star that this streaming thing and the changing that people can actually start. Sylvester Stallone, again, Sylvester Stallone, and he's on a streaming show, and you're watching it. It's amazing that a television show that you can spend time with them every week, as opposed to something like Samaritan, they're okay, but a television show that you can invest in the character, that you can see him weekly. You can imagine, I said to my wife last night, can you imagine 10, 15 years ago going, Harrison Ford is on a television show? Julia Roberts is on a television show? You know, these movie stars that were never on it, you can do it now. They're invited and it's cinematic. you still associate them with the cinematic.
It is so cinematic.
It's cinematic.
this show.
It doesn't feel like they've stepped down. It doesn't feel like they're on this sitcom now. They're on this. No, it feels like they're just in a larger movie that brings us it's in our house every week. So that's why I think, because the star power helped, the brand of Yellowstone and everything else too, I think helped. But I think the star power of Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, that had a lot to do with it.
I think a lot of people see this image and think this is the new movie coming out.
Right.
No, man, this is a new show.
100%.
It's crazy. Yeah. Rob, we obviously talked a lot last night about the debut of 1923, but now you're seeing these numbers. I expect it to be big because of what Christian pointed out, the star power. It's a Yellowstone series, but this big, I don't know what I was expecting. What's your takeaway?
Well, I think one of the things that Taylor Sheridan's doing is he's tapping into American iconography. I mean, the whole thing about the whole Yellowstone franchise now, the Yellowstone shared universe, is you're dealing with American history, American iconography, the Old West, American values, what the country was built upon. And to a certain extent, the Kingstown show, the Tulsa King show, you're dealing with all of these very American, like American gangsters and, American crime thrillers and all that. And he's really tapping into all that, and at the same time, he's giving us incredible, like, even remember Kevin Costner is a huge movie star too, and like you said, bringing in these movie star characters and giving you a show that is cinematic in nature, beautifully made. What people are feeling from these shows is top flight entertainment.
Yep.
And at the core of it all, you have authorship. You have the vision of a one man, a guy like Taylor Sheridan who's writing all these shows too. And so what you're getting a point of view that I don't think you can get. For instance, it's amazing to me to see Paramount talk about another franchise, the Star Trek franchise, can't get any traction in terms of viewership, not like this. And it's because...
So, Ray, you can reset the clock on the how long will it take Rob to make this about Star Trek?
Days without incident?
No, but I'm just saying it's another franchise. If you look at two contrasting stories on Paramount Plus, I think what Taylor Sheridan is doing here is working on a number of different levels. It's working on the fact that you're getting movie stars starring in these roles. You're getting great storytelling on a cinematic level, but you're also getting writing that's incredibly engaging, that is tapping into American mythology the way we haven't seen in a long time.
Can I make one more note here?
Yeah.
Is that the other thing too that I noticed, that what Taylor Sheridan and Paramount Plus have done, the reason why Yellowstone is in the conversation all the time, 1883 is in the conversation all the time, week by week.
Yes.
It comes out,
yes,
and people are talking about it, and people continue to talk about it. If this show would have dropped, and I was bummed there was only one episode, but I was happy there was only one episode. Because when it drops on one episode, I'm going, I can't wait to do it next week, because next week you're going to talk about it on your show. You're going to get more, people are going to be talking about it. If it all dropped last night, you guys would be raving about it today, and then people would be exhausted today watching it, whatever, and then talking about it for the next 2 or 3 days. Gone.
And then
Waiting
gone.
for the next one.
You know what else about 1923 that I was struck by watching it with Elizabeth? A strong female presence in terms of the female storylines, and strong male presence. Elizabeth was riveted by the show as much as I was, because the Helen Mirren character and her storyline, she's playing a matriarch but a badass mother.
Harrison Ford calls her character the boss.
The boss. And I mean, this is a show that appeals to both men and women. And that's why I think the numbers are up too.
Great opening.
Yeah. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? 1923 has launched with a bang. Have you had a chance to check it out yet? If so, what did you think? Whatever you guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of this video, DraftKings. This time of year, everyone's excited for the holiday spirit, but what about all the basketball? When it's time to throw down on the NBA action, it's gotta be with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame moneyline on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Plus, everyone can combine multiple bets for a bigger payout with DraftKings same game parlays. Just download the DraftKings app, use the code Campea, place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win, and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code Campea only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877
877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonuses issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.